Yo, yo, yo.
Yo, yo.
Yes, I back again. Islands Boy Football Talk. Your boy C Money. Your boy K Jizzle. Shredy is should be joining us. He might join us or not. We'll see. He needs to
Post.
join us. He needs to join us to bring us this big news, but he needs to join us. We're back again here on our Tuesday night for our Week 12 game ball presentation for the games that went on in Week 12, where we're gonna discuss the recap of the scores, the games. Might talk a little bit about that ugly game last night, maybe. I don't know. I might not talk about it. I went to sleep.
That nasty. You don't pay attention to that game.
But yeah, let's go ahead and get right into it. Last night, the Monday night game was the Chicago Bears and the Minnesota Vikings. I've been reading on social media about how everyone was kind of upset about the game. It was a lackluster game, basically. I think I had 6 turnovers in that game, 4 interceptions by Joshua Dobbs, 2 fumbles by Justin Fields, and Chicago came out the winner. What score? The 13-6, I think it was.
12-10.
13-10, So
But what you thought was gonna happen against the Vikings and no Kirk Cousins, of course,
mhm.
Justin Jefferson. You got Bears team that's mediocre right about now, below average, you can say. Just Justin Fields and DJ Moore and whoever else they got out there. So you already know it wasn't gonna be a competitive game. It wasn't gonna be a game to watch. So if the media and fans thinking it's supposed to be a good game, you gotta be crazy.
Yeah, that's they were kind of bashing it today. I don't know.
You can what you bashing it for? It was is expected. But
You
you
know,
thought you won't get like a 34-31 type of game?
the fans are.
At some point, Joshua Dobbs was gonna come back down to earth, right? At some point, right? At some point, he was gonna come back down to earth, right? So
I
that you
don't.
had that you had, I mean that you had to figure.
I don't think you were ever above or but.
I mean, he was playing some good football, but eventually, that good football became bad football.
Mhm.
They ain't got nobody out there, just Jordan Addison, and that's about it. The KJ has one, but who else is out there?
Yeah.
Justin Jefferson and Kirk Cousins made that team look good.
And I don't think even with Justin Jefferson coming back, I don't think that he gonna look good with Joshua Dobbs. I don't think so.
He might look okay, but
We'll see.
he gets open regardless. But the team will look a little better, but it ain't gonna be as what it was, as prolific it was when they had Kirk Cousins. So
In what was the Sunday night game?
Ravens and Chargers.
That was
That's an okay game too, as
a
well.
okay game, but I think definitely no. Brandon Staley's on the hot seat, and I don't think he make it past the season.
I
I,
think if they lose a game in that type of fashion, he probably, especially if they do get blown. I don't know who they play next week or the week after, but if they do get blown, I think there's a chance he might get fired in season.
I think so too. They play Patriots next. If them lose to the Patriots, he got.
Yeah, that team has no identity, none. Team has no identity. You don't know what. You don't know what. I mean, they're gonna be a run first team, pass first team. I think they lost Joey Bosa and defense. They gave what's it, JC Jackson a bunch of money at cornerback
He
position.
ain't play. He
He,
got.
he didn't plan out. The Patriots traded for him. You got Derwin James out there, yes.
Mhm.
But other than that, I mean, it didn't work out. I think you need to give Justin Hubbard an offensive coordinator, a quarterback type of coach to maximize his strengths. Because right now, Brandon still ain't doing that.
Yeah, I don't understand how you there. So like he really bring down that.
Maximizing the
He bring
mistake they made is when they fired Anthony Lynn.
Anthony Lynn.
At that point in time, Justin Herbert was in the right trajectory going forward. He wasn't going backward. He was offensive and rookie of the year,
Hmm.
and he was playing good football too. I mean, yes, he's been playing good football through the years too, but I think he would have been better with offensive coordinator actually. who's somebody. You don't bring in a defensive coordinator when you got a young quarterback. Unless you have a good offensive coordinator who can work with a quarterback. And that's what you're seeing with the So the better don't waste years.
I mean, look at the record though. You know what I'm saying? I don't think I've ever seen the Chargers with that record. 4-7 since they had Justin Hubbard. I don't think I've seen that since they've had Justin Hubbard.
Tough AFC, they lost to the Lions, they lost to the Cowboys in a tight game. I mean, they lost a lot of games. A lot of close games. You never saw Brandon Staley win a game that's tight.
He can't. I don't think he falls under pressure.
Right.
He remind me of what the coach named down there in Dallas.
That defense is supposed to be somewhat decent.
Yeah.
I mean, if you hold a team to 20 points, I mean, yeah, but if your offense can't score past 10, I mean, it ain't gonna work nothing. So
Yeah. So I mean, the Sunday night game was good. Monday night game wasn't good. Other than that, I think it was a interesting week 12. Um, I think the major thing some of the week 12 was the Packers beating the Lions. That was a kind of shock, I guess, to everybody how hot the Lions were. Maybe bring them back down to reality a little bit. Um, Even though the Texans lost, I thought the Texans did a good job against the Jaguars in that AFC rivalry.
yeah, CJ, I'm sure he's offensive rookie of the year,
Yeah, I think he's the truth.
unanimous offensive rookie of the year. Um, he's playing some good football. Like, I mean, I didn't expect I always hear the narrative these Ohio quarterbacks ain't it. These Ohio quarterbacks can't play in the league.
Mm-hmm.
He proved that. He proved a lot of these doctors wrong. A lot of them wrong.
Yep. Yep. I agree. And then I forget what I was gonna see. But yeah, so big news out. I mean, she didn't hear, but they're gonna lose it fly. The big news out is that
Frank.
Frank Wright was fired today
Mm-hmm.
by the Carolina Panthers after what 1-10, 1-11, 1-10 start.
Mm-hmm.
So the Panthers are moving on now from Frank Wright. Sheedy's been crying for it for the last couple of weeks. I thought it was gonna happen. I thought, give him
I thought they were wait till the end of the season.
Yeah,
I'll give him a second chance, whatever. But
right. I thought they'd leave him walk it out and get going because I mean, yeah, it's a bad season, but I don't think that the team
they ain't winning no other games. They got to say Frank Legan. They ain't winning no more games because
right. They don't have the right tools.
the offensive line is not good.
Right.
Skill positions are not good. The only running back that's playing good football right now is Chuba Hubbard. And what you call it? The defense is playing great, but even though you got a good defense playing good football and holding teams to a certain amount of points, if your offense can't produce, if your wide receivers can't get open and can't catch, your line can't block, you're gonna win games.
Right.
I don't care who your quarterback is. You could have damn Patrick Mahomes as your damn quarterback. If your line can't block and your receivers can't catch and they can't get open, you're gonna win no games.
Yeah, I don't think you put a whole blame on Frank.
You can't put the blame on Frank. Well, you got to put the blame on your GM as well. I think Shreedy would agree because you can't come into a season saying DJ Chark, Mingo, and an old Adam Thielen is receivers you're gonna roll with.
Right.
You also can't come into you also gotta blame Frank with them and those guys too. Because you saw last year how, as Shreedy said before, that they were able to be a power run team and run the ball down a few teams' throat. But that's probably not their offense. But you also don't have a power back. But still, there was no creativity and offense too on Frank Wright. That's probably was Frank Wright's offense all in totality. So that's probably the reason why he was fired, because I think the Panthers haven't scored past 14 points for the past couple of games.
Yeah.
If your team can score at least 70 to 21 points in a game, at least, something wrong.
Something wrong, yeah.
So The final was much needed. I think a lot of fans are happy and excited that Carolina got rid of Frank Wright. But they still got a lot of work to do. It ain't gonna be like Frank Wright got and oh, we gonna win a couple of games. There's a lot more work they gotta do. They don't even have the first round draft pick, so they're gonna have to find ways to build within the draft and get some
Free
free
agents.
agents.
Some free agents. Yep.
Yeah, but you gotta build that offensive line. You're not gonna win games and beat a lot of teams if your offensive line is horrible.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's the first thing I think they need to address is the offensive line, and then probably start looking at skill position players.
Hmm I
So
think the mistake they made when they traded, made that trade for Bryce Young for that first overall pick, they should have kept DJ Moore.
DJ Moore.
Should have kept DJ Moore and traded Brian Bonds. Because if you had DJ Moore and you had DJ Chark and you had Adam Thielen, you would have had that. Because DJ Moore is a number one receiver. He is able to get open on single man to man coverage. He is where he is creative in finding ways and holes in the zone. So that would have been somewhat of Bryce Young safety blanket. So the tight end. The tight end hasn't been great. Great. Usually the safety blanket for rookie tight end as well is a rookie quarterback is a tight end.
Yep.
Hayden Hurts hasn't been good as you can hear it from Sheila.
Yeah, he's on the field.
Right. You understand? So that's another thing too. You didn't give your quarterback any help. So you also gotta blame that GM too. You got to fire that GM. I think that GM has to go too as well.
Usually it's a combo, right? Just fire the coach.
Yeah, the coach and the GM. That GM gotta go too because what a GM gonna do? I mean, yes, you have a few receivers next year, but if you ain't building in the trenches, as you can see how a lot of the teams do it, the Eagles, the Niners, even the Cowboys. Look at the Lions. Look at Kansas City. Who else? I know a lot of teams who build much in the trenches like that. But the teams that build in the trenches, you can see that they go far in the season and in the playoffs. And that's what you got to do. That's how you can win games. You win games in the trenches.
True. And I don't know because the defense wasn't bad last year, so they gotta continue rolling.
Right. That defensive coordinator is the real deal because they have so many injuries on defense, but yet he still find ways to make that defense be competitive. I don't understand it how you don't understand how he works it, but he knows how to scheme up his guys in certain put them in certain positions to be successful.
Put a person in a position in.
That's a very good defensive coordinator.
Everybody's a football player, so all you have to do is put the guys in the
right. That's a very good defensive coordinator. I tell you, he's gonna lose a defensive coordinator soon because he will get a head coaching job. If they had I would say decent talent on that defense, that'd have been a lockdown defense.
Facts.
If they had a decent defensive line and probably one or two decent corners, that'd have been a lockdown defense straight off the bat. If Vero is a very good defensive coordinator, I don't understand why Sean Payton let him go because he had that Denver defense playing even good football last year too. So, I mean, you could see that he has a footprint in the NFL too with his defenses.
Yeah. So, all right, with Carolina, they won in 11, 1 in 10. They don't have a first round pick, and they're in trouble. And I don't know if they're gonna be able to. Maybe they might do something in the draft and trade up and to grab something, but they should be on a full rebuild now again. They're still looking for a head coach. They've had a lot of head coaches in the past couple of years, so they're still under the ground. Going up to week 12 now. We go ahead and get into our game balls.
Yeah, we can talk about game balls.
And we can start. Let me start with Let me just flip it around. Let me start with the trash bags first. Let me see. My trash bag. Hmm. I think my trash bag going to Bill Belichick. I think I have make a start of an argument last show. Wait, you have your quarterback. You bench your quarterback last week because he was playing bad. He been playing bad all season. And you come out against the Giants with Danny DeVito. You start the same quarterback. He played the same way he played last week, and you bench him again. So what did you see during your preparation week that you decided to start back your quarterback again?
Mm-hmm.
After the fact that he been playing like how he been playing all week, you still start back and make yourself look ridiculous and bench him again. Ah, the hell is being read. Mac Jones benched again. I think he's another one going this year too.
Yeah, I think he should step down. I mean they should part ways, mutually part ways. And I don't know if he coach again. If I was a Chargers, I'd try to see if I could take a chance at Bill Belichick, but he might bring some Stunad offensive coordinator with him. So I don't think that would be a good idea. Um, but Bill Belichick is, you kind of wonder if Tom Brady was the Patriot way. Looking at it, we always think it was Bill Belichick and Tom Brady, but no, that there's no more Tom Brady who could somewhat mask the deficiencies of your mistakes when it came to drafting horrible skill position players. You don't have that no more. So you're kind of thinking maybe it was the Tom Brady way that was a Patriot way and not the Bill Belichick way. Because yes, he's good at drafting defensive players, but come on, man, you can't be matching those horrible skill position players out there. Yes, you got the Hunter Henry who's okay. You got Giseki who's okay. I mean, you got who receivers them got out there. You got Juju Smith-Schuster.
And
He's a nobody really.
Kendrick Bourne, who was off fourth string wide receiver.
Kendrick Bourne again, you know what I mean, stuff like that. Yes, Mac Jones has been horrible.
Cheap.
Exactly. Mac Jones has been horrible. But come on, man. How about drafting a right receiver in the first round now? How about drafting a running back in the first round now?
I don't think I remember when the
They don't, and that's the issue. You can't try to pick. Yes, you pick Tom Brady in the last pick of the draft, but you can't sit there and say, "I'm gonna see if I could pick a diamond in the rough." It doesn't always work like that. It doesn't always work like that. You would bite yourself in the ass consistently if you keep doing like that. And you see what happened now when Tom Brady. You can see what happened in the later years when Tom Brady was getting older. They had nobody on the team. You had Jacoby Myers. He's okay.
Yeah.
You had them other receivers out there. He's okay. After you lost Edelman and that they got lucky with Edelman. Cause he didn't draft Edelman. I think Edelman came from the Miami. They got lucky with Welker. Guys, Welker didn't draft Welker. Welker came from Miami.
Yep.
You drafted they didn't fully draft Gronk. I think the Ravens drafted Gronk and they traded with the Ravens to get Gronk. With the Ravens. I think you might have to ask the Patriot fan and Daryl and the Humpy on that. But I think they didn't draft Gronk. I could be wrong. I think they could have. I think they drafted. I could be wrong between the two.
I check in now.
But
he was drafted by the Patriots. Yeah.
You got drafted by the Patriots?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. But he was second round draft.
See, they don't. If they actually gave Tom Brady some help when he was older and drafted some skill position receivers, probably would have stayed in New England and probably retired in New England too. But you ain't give the man no help.
Yeah, that's them cheap.
You can't be doing that. Know that when you read that time when they left, you know that you had to start over and rebuild the team. Then you went ahead and you did some nonsense of putting Matt Patricia to be your offensive coordinator after he's known as a defensive guy and a defensive coordinator.
Exactly.
What are you trying to do? You're trying to outsmart yourself, man. Come on. You're supposed to be the smartest coach in the NFL. I'm thinking that Andy Reid is the best coach in the NFL right now, better than you. Because he's done it with different teams. He's done it with different quarterbacks, whether backups second string, third stringers, you name it, he's done it. Belichick has only done it with one.
And the one proved that he could win.
You can say 1.5. He won 10, 11 games with Matt Castle. I think he won 10 games with Mac Jones too.
He was in there with he was in the coach and Bledsoe there too.
Yeah, I didn't think they win a lot of games like that. I think Bledsoe had get injured and stuff like that, whatever. So,
well, trash bag for me was better. I ain't know who you got.
my trash bag going to the Lions. My trash bag going to the Detroit Lions. The simple fact is, you have a dominant offensive line. You have two running backs who are dominant in the run game, and you got a little bit too pass happy in that game against the Packers. What his name has had 15 carries.
Gibbs or thing.
Gibbs, David Montgomery had 15 for 71, and Jahmyr Gibbs had 11 for 54. I think those guys should have at least have had close to 20 or 20 plus carries in that game, because they especially David Montgomery, he was running the football really well, but when away from running the football, it started to become pass happy. And guess what happens?
Make mistakes.
They started bringing blitz, started bringing pressure, and Josh Allen started making mistakes and fumbling the football. Jared Goff started making mistakes and started fumbling the football. And sometimes you have to take the ball out of the quarterback hand, settle the quarterback, and run the damn football. You have a very good offensive line, a very good power run offensive line, some very good running backs. Run the damn football. Ain't no reason he had to throw 54 times in that game. Ain't no reason he had to throw 54 times in that game.
Not with that running game. Not with them running backs.
Exactly. Run the damn football. You gotta run. The running game was doing really good. Run, put in some play action and things like that. So I give the Detroit Lions my trash bag. This could have been a statement game. You could have dominated this game, win this game. You know what I mean? And you'd have been probably one of the teams to beat in the NFC.
Yep. So they blew their chance.
Yep.
All right. So game balls. Who get your game ball?
I gave my game balls to possible MVP Jalen Hurts. That's who gets my damn game ball. At the end of the first quarter, he was 4 for 11 for 30-something yards. No touchdowns. None. At the end of the first half. At the end of the game, he finished with 200 yards, 3 passing touchdowns, 2 rushing touchdowns, 5 touchdowns in total. Without him, we lose that game. Without his effectiveness, his tenacity, his leadership, we lose that game. The guy doesn't flinch. Your back seam, he don't flinch. He just sit there with the same poker face. He don't flinch. I would love to play poker with that guy, because I gonna win. He doesn't falter. He doesn't wither. You hit him, he get back up regardless. That dude does win. I don't understand. That ball that he threw to Zacchaeus.
Yeah.
That was a beautiful pass. Another thing with Jalen Hurts is, I'm seeing a lot. His mechanics is sound when he's throwing that football. Usually, you hardly see when he's delivering that football. His mechanics are off. Sound mechanics. I gotta give him credit for that. Normally, when you're looking at a quarterback delivering the football or something, you would say, "Oh, his mechanics were off. It's when the ball sail over the receiver head and stuff like that." Really, I've really seen that all season.
No Aaron throws.
No Aaron throws. He makes good decisions. Yes, he has interceptions here and there, forcing the ball probably to Devontae Smith or even AJ Brown, stuff like that, tip picks or whatever. It happens. But when it comes down to the end of the game, that boy, that you could cash a check with Jalen Hurts. I'll tell you that. When it comes down to late game situation at the end of the game, he'll cash that check. He'll bring that money home. So he get my game ball.
Right, fair enough. I get my game ball. Probably a team. Like it's a team award that we probably would have never think about this season. I give my game ball to Sean Payton and the Denver Broncos.
They're slowly coming along.
The Denver Broncos have quietly won 5 straight games.
Mm-hmm.
This is a team that had looked like doo-doo garbage for the first couple of weeks of the football season. All of a sudden, they hit this stride. And they beat a very good defensive team in Cleveland last week. Maybe not with the quarterback they had, but still, you're talking about a team with the Broncos who weren't putting up more than 7 points a game and getting rolled around on the ground on the carpet and spit out in trouble, and they wasn't doing anything. And they come out and they winning games, and they winning the game by a little bit. They winning by dominance. 29-12 was the last game. That's 2 scores, and they were basically in control of that game. I think maybe it took this long for Russell to catch on to Sean Payton playbook, or to wake up, or what. But they've been playing very well in the last 5 games, and they're now 6-5. I think they're second place in that division.
Mm-hmm.
So how far can they go with this stretch? And are they gonna continue winning? Are they gonna
I think they're in the playoff hunt too as well.
Right. So are they gonna make some noise now in the AFC West?
They can Kansas City, but I think there's a chance it's gonna be a battle for the
wild card spot.
The wild card spots, because you got the Bills who are still trying to come along. Of course, the Broncos who are surging right now. The Texans are still there, I'm sure. Because right now the Texans are number 8. The Colts who are still there too as well.
Oh yeah.
At 6-5, you got the Cleveland who's still there, and Pittsburgh too who's still there. So,
it's tight.
It's gonna be tight, and maybe the Raiders might make a surge too.
They might, yeah. All right, so there's no game balls, no trash bags, and then you go ahead into picks.
Yeah, we're going to picks.
The winner of the picks.
Should him in the picks?
You got Cena. I'll paint it.
But no, I win.
Yes, you sneak right in there.
Tell you to take that.
So KG won the picks this week. For week 12, we squeak out the shooter by 1. Squeak him out by 1. Hey, let me ask you there. Look on here.
Just come on.
I'm just pulling up home.
KG said take that.
I'm coming.
He coming.
We got a lot to talk about with the ex of Frank Wright.
But we done.
I'm coming. I just reach home.
You better run.
The show done.
Oh, what the ass?
So,
I done?
why you coming if you're coming?
I'm coming now. I'll come this way.
Don't take a piss now. Run quick.
No, I'm coming now.
So the picks, there you go. Have our picks this week. KG had 11 picks correct. Sheeta had 10, and I had 8. I was kind of feeling myself there.
Why they let him pick later in the pickups?
Yeah, I think Minnesota threw us off there with the garbage. So that came out and did. I went there on a streak. I take my chance. I really thought Carolina would have been able to squeak Tennessee, but the offense is just horrible. Tampa Bay lost against Indianapolis. That threw everybody off.
That threw everybody off.
Again, New England lost against the Giants.
I don't understand.
I thought Houston would have squeaked Jacksonville. I was a hunching on that one. They almost did.
Yeah.
And then Denver beating Cleveland. I don't know what KG feel about that one, but
I see Denver was surging. Cleveland had no quarterback, so I ain't really think. Even though the defense is good, but
yeah. And then that's probably the biggest ones. I went on a hunch on Buffalo. I thought Buffalo could have got Philly, which they could have, but
could have.
showed their resilience. And then like I said, Minnesota should have never lost to Chicago, but whatever. So and then Detroit up in the beginning, just everybody got hit in the head with Detroit. So that's it for picks from week 12. Good week. We wait and see if Street want to come out here. He want to talk about Frank Reich. When he come out here and get some eating, because he can go on. I give it he's like coming up on Thursday, week 13 to start off week 13. You have a good game. I think it'll be a good game coming up on Thursday. It's the Seahawks versus the Cowboys in Dallas.
Oh, that's a good game.
I think that would be a good game.
Seahawks coming off a stinker.
Yeah, don't watch the game that they play against the Finals. That's a divisional game. Don't ever watch the game. You have the Seahawks going into Dallas, and I don't know. I think maybe the Seattle has a winning record.
I want Dallas to do so.
I think Dallas will take a L on this one. I think Seattle Seattle has a winning record. I think. Okay, we 9-3, and they I think they like
7-4,
6-7 or something like that, 7-5 or something like that. Where they at? They are 6-5.
6-5.
So they need to win, because if they don't win, we play them next week.
And that's it.
And they don't. I don't think they want to go on that losing streak in a thing. They are coming off a short week though. No, my bad.
No, they come out same thing with that. They had a couple of days of rest.
They play Thursday, so
yeah, they had a couple of days of rest, so they should be ready to play. But I wouldn't be surprised if they lose. Like I said before, Gino ain't it. Gino ain't it.
Yeah, he ain't it, but
Gino ain't it. Like he's good at backup. He could win you a couple of games.
Yep.
Last year was an anomaly. I like I said, I think I said last year, I would have never give Gino that contract, but I think they should be looking for a quarterback next year.
I think, but yeah, they should. And I think that we're gonna find out right now, really and truly.
Because I don't understand how you got a Metcalf, a Lockett, a rookie in Jigba. You have an okay running game, and you can accomplish certain points. You shouldn't be 6-5. You shouldn't be 6-5. Not with that skill position players you got. Your offensive line ain't horrible. It's okay. I ain't saying it's great, but your offensive line ain't horrible. You shouldn't be that bad. I think the quarterback is the reason why that team is at 6-5.
I tend to agree. But they were banking on his resurgence last year, and
that wasn't gonna happen again.
They put a full resurgence in him last year, and I don't think they didn't realize that sophomore slump gonna hit him in the neck.
Teams, these defensive coordinators have film mania.
Yep.
They study games too. That's what a lot of people fail to realize. Everybody thinking that Gino was going to be this MVP candidate. Bullshit.
I think he came back down to reality this year. I think somebody and I was saying it on one of the analysts. I think Keyshawn maybe. Somebody was saying it. And but they got a big matchup coming up, and we'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens on Thursday. Streety KG, want to let you know that you lost the picks this week. He beat you.
What the score was?
11.
You could bet that.
He scored 11. How much we score?
I had 8. You had 10.
So at some point, something went wrong. There was a miscalculation.
You could bet not.
Now we went through it. It was all legit.
But then if I had win like 4 in a row, you gotta give somebody else a chance.
He said 4 in a row. This guy is delusional.
You got to hand it to me sometimes. It's me and Boomer got to be the most accurate picks of all time.
I hope we pick right this week.
Well, fellas, I know you guys been chatting
Okay.
it up.
I can get some eat.
I know you guys. Go ahead. Me and KG will talk about it. 'Cause that he partner. I know you guys been chatting it up. That's fine. Over to the Carolina Panthers. That now that I'm here. Yeah, we did lose against Tennessee, but that was the final nail in the coffin for Frank, right? I mean, me and Jizzle and Shane been talking, but Shane actually said she did. Yo, spot on. I did tell you guys changes were coming.
Mm-hmm.
David Tepper's a man that he's not gonna sit around. He hates sitting around and thing. And yeah, you know, you would give coaches some time to figure it out. But at seven and Steve Wilkes went 6-6 last year with a team worse than this. At at 1-10, you had to pull the plug. I honestly believe that that was the right decision to pull the plug. I'm not bashing Frank, right? He is a good person, but I do believe that his way of things was outdated when it comes to Bryce Young and those guys. Frank Wright is more of a stand in a pocket type, stay there and throw. With this team, he never made the right adjustments to help Bryce Young. Um, was I surprised it happened? No, because I pictured it would happen in Dallas. But from time I saw him take back play calling from Thomas Brown, I knew that was his last resort. That was his last chance to hold on to his job. And look, David Tepper is gonna pay him out for the next 3 years. He has his money is gonna be get. But I do believe I keep telling you, KJ, I felt Frank Wright was like too old for the NFL now. At some point, sometimes you need to just either be a special advisor or just pack it up.
Right.
I think he was too old to be head coach, offensive coordinator. I think his time has passed in terms of what you see when you see him with the Shanahans and the McVeys and the Siriannis and those guys. Frank Wright couldn't be a very good special advisor to the offense. Like, hey, we can do this. You guys can do this. But Colin plays, his plays are outdated, and he never really adjusted to how this team was. I mean, this team is not good on offense, especially. But every week we came in here, me and UKG especially, and said this defense gave you a chance to win.
Mm-hmm.
The defense always gave you a chance to win, but the offense couldn't muster more than 10 or 13 points. That's horrific. I don't really care what no one said. I can understand offenses are bad, but for like a whole 8 weeks, we never put more than 13 points on the board. Our one win, we scored 15 points, and the defense had to play damn near lights out. That is not something that you should. And you saw signs. Frank Wright forgot Terrace Marshall didn't play in the game. He was unaware of stuff and so on. And yeah, everyone knows if you watch anything with the Panthers, they'll always tell you that the owner meddles into a lot of stuff. He's the fucking owner. He paying the billions. If he want to meddle, he gonna meddle. He wants to win. That's his thing. He does have patience, but I believe he gave Matt Rule 1 year too much. He does have patience, but I do believe that Frank Wright wasn't the right. If we had drafted CJ Stroud, I think Frank Wright would have been a right fit for CJ Stroud.
Right?
The plan with the Panthers was that Houston was going to trade with the Bills to number 1. Houston wanted Bryce Young. The Panthers was going to take CJ Stroud at number 2. That was the original plan, and I think that's what Frank Wright and them was sold on. But because the Bears and Houston couldn't finalize the deal, the Panthers jumped to number 1. I listened to the press conference today. Tepper didn't really say much about what's going on. He kind of like shot sight a lot of stuff. But I do believe the Panthers never really expected to go number 1. Their eyes were set on CJ Stroud, and I think Frank Wright eyed that CJ Stroud was a better player for his scheme. When we had the chance to go number 1, it changed a lot of stuff. Because then Frank Wright, who is known for tall, big quarterbacks, had to find ways to get Bryce Young involved. And that wasn't what his thing is. There was a report coming out, Jizzle, that a lot of the front office pleaded to Frank Wright to use a lot of RPOs. That's where Bryce was successful in Alabama.
That's why I
And
see
Frank
what that.
and Frank Wright said no because that's not part of his scheme. But
No,
Frank
but
Wright's an asshole
no,
if you
but
do
they
that.
did it in Philly.
That's the thing. That's why people couldn't understand because people said
That's
he did it
he did it
in
with Nick Foles
Philly.
Super Bowl.
Right. He did it in Philly. He did it in Indianapolis.
Yeah.
Why did he refuse to do it in Carolina? I just couldn't understand that. They said the front office pleaded to Frank Wright and said, Frank, you need to run RPOs to help Bryce Young and help the line. He refused to do it. He said that's not part of his scheme. You can't come in Carolina with a depleted line, lack of weapons, and just think that Bryce Young could stand up in the pocket when the pocket, soon he say hot people in the face. You run the RPOs to get people off guard. You run motion plays. Frank Wright never really changed the offense. He took back play calling for the last 2 weeks and it got worse than Thomas Brown. So was I shocked that this happened? No. Was I surprised it happened? No. Did I feel it was the right decision? I honestly do. I just nothing against Frank Wright. I just felt that he wasn't a right fit with Bryce Young. It has nothing to do with Frank Wright. It has everything to do with the fit. And I think when David Tepper fired Frank Wright, I think Parsons actually understood that. The fit was never right. It's nothing to do with Frank Wright. Frank Wright could probably, he said this is probably his last chapter on coaching. That's probably it. He probably be a special advisor to someone. But his fit was never right. That's not a quarterback that he's used to doing. With Bryce Young, you got to use motions, move the pocket, and those. Bryce Young is a very good reader of the field. How can he read the field when he say hot people in the face? Let him do the RPO so when people clamp down on the run, he can pass it or move out.
Mm-hmm.
Why would you just keep him there in the shotgun and just leave him there to get killed? Frank Wright was killing Bryce Young. And I don't even care. Those 3 weeks that Thomas Brown called the plays, that was Frank Wright's offense. Along with Frank Wright, we fired Deuce Staley, our assistant head coach and running backs coach, and Josh McCown, our quarterback coach. I have no problem with Deuce Staley and Josh McCown, but I truly feel Josh McCown was more a fan of Stroud than Bryce Young. Not to say that he wasn't thing. Right. But I truly believe that he was more of a fan of Stroud. And then I think with the Deuce Staley was a loyalist for Frank Wright. He would move with Frank Wright. And I think he voted for Miles Sanders too much. I think that cost him the job.
Right.
So they're gone. And look, if you look at it now, right, you see what they say? Thomas Brown is calling the plays, but you see who's walking with him now? Jim Caldwell. I think that's a great move. Caldwell never really had a say, even though he was an advisor, because it was all Frank Wright's scheme. Let's be fair. It was Frank Wright's offense, basically. Caldwell has his hand in it now with Thomas Brown. Both of them are going to work with Bryce Young. I guarantee you're going to see differences in how the plays are called this game against Tampa Bay. I'm eager to see it. I'll be with you in Maryland and we'll watch the game. You'll see a difference because I truly believe Caldwell, I don't want him to be the head coach because he won't last long, but he will be a great help going forward. I understood why our special teams coordinator got head coach Chris Tabor for the simple fact that if Thomas Brown was the head coach and he did well, someone would hire him. If Evero was the head coach and he did well, someone would hire him. Let them walk on the defense.
Somebody gonna hire Evero regardless.
Right, but the thing is, if you did put him as a head coach and he worked wonders, and the Panthers decided to go in a different way, he was never gonna stay.
Right.
If no one hires him the head coaching job, I believe he'll stay as a defensive coordinator. David Tepper has no problem with the defense. The defense has worked hard. They've kept us in games. I just believe they don't want to show their hand with if we were going as the head coach yet. You understand what I'm saying? There's a lot of portions. All eyes are set on Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson never rejected the Panthers. There was a jet waiting for Ben Johnson to bring him. They were going to offer him the job. He just wanted to continue what he wanted to do in Detroit. I don't believe after this year he'll stay. I believe David Tepper. The thing is, there's certain ways of doing it. Owners want to win, but owners let football people do the job. There's certain owners like Tepper and Jerry Jones that get a little too involved. But listening to it today, I don't know how true it is or not. David Tepper said all decisions that were made with Bryce Young and free agents and so, he was the last to know. He just signed off on it. Whether it's true or not, we don't know. I believe he's heavily involved in the Panthers day-to-day argument, but I don't think he puts in too much of his foot. He's just an owner that loves football and wants to win. Is he going to book it the right way? Maybe not. But he's the owner. It's his team. He do what he want. He got a billions. But I do believe Federer will get fired, and there's a name popping around, and they're saying that the Panthers have regretted to give him the GM, and they hope they give him the GM. That's somebody from the 49ers, Adam Peters. Adam Peters was second in the running to Scott Federer. Adam Peters helped build that 49ers roster. Because I read something today when John Lynch became the GM, he didn't really know nothing about the GM. He was never a GM before. Adam Peters was the one building the roster. They need somebody like Adam Peters to come and be the GM. Let Adam Peters pick his head coach and then build the roster. Something one of those key analysts said today. The Panthers don't really need a coordinator to be a head coach. They need a roster builder. Someone that can lead the team and build the roster. You got your franchise quarterback, Bryce Young. Everybody in the Panthers building truly believe Bryce Young is the franchise quarterback. I still believe it. We watch the game. When he does have time, he does what he needs to do. It's just that Mingo and them retarded. That's basically it. But when he has the time, he does what. Now get him a GM and a head coach that believes in it. That's going to be the key. Whoever is hired as the next head coach truly believes in Bryce Young. They have to believe in Bryce Young. And from what I'm seeing is that there's a lot of persons that want to work with Bryce Young. They believe Bryce Young has untapped potential. And I do believe it too. It's just he's been in a bad situation. I don't hate Frank Wright. I just hate the way the season went. But Frank Wright never really helped Bryce Young. He never adapted to how the game was or how the team was. The team wasn't good, but you got Bryce Young in a shotgun all the time. No kind of RPO, just stand up there to get hit. If your line can't hold up, how you gonna just stay there and just take the licks? That makes sense? That don't make no sense, man. Come on. But it happened. He's out the way. Coach Tabor is the interim head coach. He doesn't even want to be a head. He's gonna be a good leader because special teams work with defense and offensive players. He knows the players. He and Jim Caldwell done fired Deuce Staley and Josh McCown. So they obviously know something that you don't see outside. They did. I do believe that it's gonna be a rejuvenated team that Bryce Young is gonna have more free flow of the game. I do believe that. I do believe that there's gonna have some more free flowing. I'm gonna see a better game from Bryce Young. I'm not gonna say it's gonna be just turn around 180 perfect. I do believe the Panthers are hoping that Thomas Brown can rejuvenate the offense with his scheme. And let's be fair, that was never his scheme when he was calling the plays. That was Frank Wright's scheme. He come from McVay. She ain't in the NFC West. You know how McVay does call plays. None of that shit was McVay type plays. That was Frank Wright playbook.
Yeah, they never give him the chance. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. No. See, one thing I like with what they said, Frank Wright and Caldwell are going to walk on the offense. I believe in Caldwell. Caldwell should have never been fired from the Lions that time.
Jim Caldwell?
Never. Yeah. Remember, he's been a special advisor to the offense all the time. But he really didn't have no say with Frank Wright, Deuce Staley, and all them there. Now that Deuce Staley, Josh McCown, and Frank Wright is gone, that's three big major heads there. Three major vices. Now the other vices is Thomas Brown and Caldwell, and they're working together. I do believe you're going to see a much better offense from the Panthers that will suit Bryce Young. They're going to play into Bryce Young's favor. I know Thomas Brown was a big fan of Bryce Young. He was one of them that wanted Bryce Young. Bryce Young is too good of a, not to say extremely good player, but he's too good of a processor to be this bad. He's not bad. He's just been in a bad situation. I'll put that out there. Whoever's saying Bryce Young is a boss, you clearly don't watch football properly. Because anybody could tell you that no quarterback in the NFL would succeed in what the Panthers situation was the first 11 weeks. If you're telling me that Bryce Young is a boss and CJ Stroud was around, put CJ Stroud in this line here. When Bryce Young could get out of the way, CJ Stroud ain't a mobile quarterback. He can run, but he's not that. What do you think CJ Stroud would do? He'd get killed. He probably be injured. For Bryce Young to take all them licks and come back in these games, that's a better man than me. Cause I was telling them I was injured. Now I come back out there next week. I was doing that. But the simple fact of it is that defense been playing good, special teams been playing good. The offense has been a major letdown. Yes, I know we don't have enough first round pick. Not because you don't have a first round pick mean that your team bad. You got very high second round pick. You can either trade back and get more picks or pick the right people. How about you scout the right people? 55 million in cap space. How about you sign free agents with the right people? It is plausible, but you need people in the front office that know what they're doing. I don't believe Scott Federer can do it. I want Adam Peters. I hope them hire Adam Peters. And let Adam Peters pick Ben Johnson or Bobby Slowick or whoever the hell he wants. I believe the team will be much set. Scott Federer said it today. In a perfect world, he would have one coach for 20 years. I do believe he wants stability. He came from the Steelers. Cora was there for over 10 years. Now Tomlin there for over 10 years. They love stability. He just never. He admitted one thing I respect him for. He admitted that he made a mistake hiring Matt Rule. Then he made a mistake hiring Frank Reich. Ain't a lot of people that are gonna say that. Some people cock in and say, "Well, they didn't work out." He said it falls on me. It was my responsibility. I didn't make the right hire. Not to say Frank Reich is a bad person. It just wasn't a good fit. Fine, I accept that. Pay Frank Reich money. You got billions. I tell Shane already, KG, the man got brass balls in the office. Balls. Balls that hanging out here, pens. It happens. And like I tell you, KG, Shane said yesterday, Wapana, it was spot on. I told you what something was gonna happen. If they were truly serious, you couldn't let Frank Reich call the rest of the season. It would have killed Bryce Young. I do believe Bryce Young working with Thomas Brown and Caldwell is the right answer going forward. I do believe a change needed to be made. Hopefully, there's more changes at the end of the season, and we go from there. I don't believe they should hire Brian Johnson. It's too early for Brian Johnson to be a head coach. Yeah, he had one good year. This is his first year calling plays, and I don't believe he should be the head coach. Nah, but I do believe Ben Johnson should be it. He's proven himself over time, but that's for another day because we still got 6 games to go. But I do believe the Panthers are in a better position for the next 6 games because of the moves they made. I like Deuce Staley, but he was a Frank Reich boy, so they had to do it. I think less vices and more mature vices. Thomas Brown and Caldwell are going to be beneficial to Bryce Young. I think we're going to come up rejuvenated. We're going to play the Buccaneers. The defense is going to do what the defense does. We should get healthier more with JC Hans, CJ Henderson, Gita Matos, and those guys. And I do believe the offense is going to be better. I think we have Gabe Jackson, the guard, coming in for a visit tomorrow. Hopefully we sign him because our guards are getting killed. Gabe Jackson is a veteran that had over 130 starts. Put him in and help stabilize the line. Walk Bryce Young to his strength. How in the hell you draft Bryce Young when he touched people on RPO and refused to use the RPO in the NFL? That makes sense? You gonna tell me Frank Reich was good in the head? When KG could clearly tell you in Philly, that's what made him successful, the RPO. And he take it out, he playbook with Bryce Young. But at some point, you gotta put in an old mental home. You gotta. But I believe the Panthers are in a better position. I know people bash David Tepper because he's so into the game and so. I don't. Because if I was the owner of that team, I was involved too. But I do believe we're gonna be better moving forward. We'll see what happens. like something came out here now. Frank Wright and Bryce Young dynamic field. Frank Wright wanted Bryce to read plays off a wristband. Bryce preferred hearing them in his helmet and then repeating. That disconnect led to all the season delay of game clock issues. We saw a lot of clock issues. He wanted Bryce Young to use it. Bryce Young usually take plays in the helmet and he'll do it. The more struggles the offense had, the less Frank listened to other voices and input, which was the point in bringing in new coaches. The more he reverted back to Frank's offense. You can't do that. You're the head coach. Yes, your offense, but if it's not working, you're gonna have to adjust. He got stubborn. He definitely got stubborn. We know that. So if that's the case, then what are we doing? What are we doing if that means he didn't want to stay there? I don't understand. So I really don't understand what Frank Wright basically kind of kicked himself up. So we'll see what happens. Like I say, Albert Breer from the Panthers said that could be Detroit Ben Johnson, a young, smart as whip guru whom you'd have to project as a leader, but who learned under one of the NFL's best in the department, Dan Campbell. It could be Michigan's Jim Harbaugh, who reached out to the Panthers last year about their opening and has spoken with Tepper and clearly has a great feel for building a program and managing the ins and outs of a game season. So Harbaugh did reach out to David Tepper last year, but David Tepper did see he's going to go in a different direction. That's something to look at. But I think they want Ben Johnson. I do believe they want Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson would have gotten offered the job last year. He didn't reject the Panthers. He just decided to tell Houston, Washington, and the Panthers that I'm gonna go back to Detroit because I want to finish what I start. Basically, which is fine. If he's from North Carolina, they'll give him the job. And the thing I like with my owner, he gonna throw the money out. You see the staff he put together? That's a lot of money. He can throw the money out. So if Ben Johnson wants to come, he has Bryce Young, work with Bryce Young, build a team. I good with that. As long as you have Adam Peters as the GM. They either say somebody from the Adam Peters from the 49ers or some fella from the Eagles. Somebody that know how to build teams. Build a team and we fine. So I don't know. I'm not shocked with none of this news. I'm actually relieved that it happened. I didn't think Frank Wright needed to go. And change was needed in Carolina. You guys heard me come here numerous times angry, saying, "What the fuck, Frank Wright really doing out there?" It had to be done. What you guys reaction to the news?
Like I said on the show, it was needed.
Just
Change was needed. The offense wasn't producing. Frank Wade being an offensive coach, head coach, offensive coordinator, looked like he was last. Bryce Young wasn't fully progressing for the simple fact that now in the NFL teams with these young quarterbacks you normally run RPOs, get them comfortable in the offense, and then after you sprinkle in a little bit more as they go on. Is the same thing they did with Jalen Hurts. Started off with RPO, sprinkled in a little more things, added more to the playbook, and allow him to progress. And after later on, you added more, you start spreading out, and start doing different things in the offense too as well. But you still don't forget that read option. So I think that was Frank Wright's Achilles heel.
Yeah. I didn't think that they were gonna frame him to the season. I thought they were even ready to and then deal with him in the off season. But I agree that the team wasn't progressing. Already far behind expectations. So something had to be done. I just didn't think that I'd get rid of the coach right now. I thought they'd give him a little bit more time, but we'll see. Something had to be done, and they make an action, they make a splash move. So we'll see what happens.
I truly believe that some in that building really wanted Strode rather than Bryce Young. Because remember, the plan was to always go to number 2. The plan only changed when Houston back up. Houston was going Bryce Young. Don't let nobody fool you. Houston was going up to number 1 to get Bryce Young. But they backed up at the deal last minute, and the Panthers took advantage. I think that kind of changed a lot of stuff because a lot of persons in that building wanted to see was Frank Wright and Josh McCown and those guys probably wanted CJ Stroud. but there was still another set that really wanted Bryce Young. So when the chance to get Bryce Young at number one happened, I just don't believe that McCown and Frank Wright were first choice was Bryce Young. I think their first choice was Stroud, and he never adjusted to having Bryce Young. Bryce Young is a special player. I do believe he is. He can be a special quarterback, but yeah, you do have to look at size and those kinds of stuff. You have to, and he just you can't like I tell Shane just now. You just can't have. You know your line can't hold up. How the hell you gonna just keep the man just there saying hot and and your middle getting just eat alive, and you wouldn't even try to help adjust and change it? I told you Frank Rice's time in the NFL is past. He needs to go into consultancy and special advisor roles, but he's no more. He's not anymore. Coordinator or thing. He could probably be a quarterback's coach by now. He's not a head coach and he's not a coordinator anymore. So I really do believe that Thomas Brown could be the right fit. I don't know how much he can change at this point. It'll have to be a progress. But I do believe if he incorporates his offense, you'll see a lot more. He came from McVay. His playbook is McVay like playbook. A lot of motions and those kinds to throw the defense off. So it needs to be done. All right, so I won't talk much more on the pack. I got what I had to say. Oh, I know you guys ran the show and it just came. My pick seeing for Thursday is Dallas.
What?
You guys didn't make a pick yet? I saw you guys make a pick.
No, I make a pick.
Oh,
We were looking at the last picks.
so Dallas. So the picks for this week.
Dallas, yeah.
So Dallas, oh good. You guys do your game balls already?
Yeah.
Okay. So my game ball, my garbage bag go to Frank Wright. It had to be done. Game ball, it definitely goes to Sean Payton and them Denver Broncos for winning 5 in a row.
Yeah. I give my game out to the Broncos as well.
All right, so that's my thing.
And what you say? What you say? Dallas?
Yeah, I got with Dallas.
KG?
I get Dallas too.
Hey, yeah, the women. Dallas ain't beat that damn team with a winning record.
Oh yeah, that's true too.
That's true too.
So,
Yeah.
all right, so that's our pick. We already did the game balls and everything. This is the big question. More than likely, Tuesday is a dead case for that preview show. You gonna do the preview show on Thursday?
I don't know. That's the last day before I flew. I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know why I'm gonna be Thursday.
That's the thing. You gotta get this preview show. I dug Saturday. You ain't gonna get that preview. Me and KG ain't staying home that Saturday. I guarantee that. I could guarantee we ain't gonna be home for that game. We going somewhere, eat some food, drink some drinks. I could guarantee that. I would like that preview show to happen because it's thing. If anything, maybe we could no. I was going to say we could probably start a little earlier. I just don't know. We'll play by ear. If Shane home Thursday, we'll do a preview show on Thursday, and then we'll see how Saturday runs.
Mhm.
The thing because even if we get a preview show in earlier Saturday, we can still post it out on Facebook. Not Facebook. We can still post it out on Twitter, and it's on Facebook, so other persons can see. So
I'm gonna
we
do
keep
it
our eye on
only
it.
Saturday afternoon or something.
I think depending on how it is, we can still do that. So we'll keep our eye on it. All right, so I think basically that's it. I think you guys covered everything, right?
Mhm.
All right, so that's it. Like I said, keep a lookout on our Twitter page for when the show is gonna be. I'll post it whenever we do the show, but I'll let you guys know. I'll let our fans know. Be sure to like and subscribe the page as usual. I'll post the show back on Twitter so everyone can see it, and it's on Facebook and YouTube at Island Boys Football Talk, and our cash app is _ Island Boys Talk. So outside of that, week 12 is in the books. Week 13, some big games. Dallas and Seattle started off. Then that big game, San Francisco and Philly.
Mhm.
And a big game for Carolina too, because it changes. So we'll see what happens when it comes there. But that's it for me. I know you guys got anything before you end it off.
Nope.
That's it. All right. So we'll see you guys either Thursday or Saturday. But keep you guys up to date, and we'll see what we got from there.
All right. Peace
All
out.
right, peace.